What's up guys? In this video, we completely build the Odyssey engine.
Before we get into this video, we have one cool thing to tell you.
Alright, we're gonna be on Velocity, June 1st at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to tune in and watch us build a pretty cool kart. Alright, hope you like this video. Alright, so I spent some money and we got a bunch of parts to rebuild this thing. We're gonna work on pulling off this carburetor. So when I go to the machine shop, I can just hand them the cylinder itself. There we go, cool. So now I'm gonna be taking this piston or this cylinder to the machine shop with the piston. That way we can get it bored out 0.5 millimeters. All right, so it's been quite a little while, but it's finally time. I'm getting to work on rebuilding the bottom end here. We've cleared some of the projects out of the way, so it's game time now. So what we're dealing with here, I actually had to wait on a specialty tool here because this shaft is tempered and there's this torque converter driven pulley, or driver pulley I believe it's called. It comes out, you can see the threaded inserts right in there. So in theory, I really hope it fits. Oof. Okay, I'm using 2 hands for this. If I get it in and it starts pulling it, that'll be good. I decided before I break anything, I'm gonna let it soak in some penetrating oil. And there's a bucket here. So yeah, hopefully we have better luck later, and we might need to use some heat. Yo! Okay, damn. I wish I had that on camera, because it's literally shot off of it. We had it, we basically let that sit. We went and ate dinner, and we came back, and like, the engine was like I couldn't touch this right now. It burned my hand off. And I literally turned that half a turn and it like catapulted off. So yeah, get the right tools for the job to like pull stuff, especially because it makes it a lot easier, and heat is your friend.
The exact same thing happened, it just popped right off.
Ooh, fancy.
So yeah, there's the coils.
Yep. Dang. It's pretty clean though. It seems like everything's there. I had no idea. We have the like assembly guide shop manual kind of thing for the Odyssey, so we'll take a look, but I mean, I don't see any reason why all the stuff shouldn't be there. So we got the 3 Phillips head screws out. Honestly, Phillips head stuff should just be banned from machinery. It literally took us forever, but so here comes the Stator, as you can see right here. There's just this little grommet with the wire here, so we'll just have to punch this out from one side or just pull the wires through. And then we're on to doing our crank bearings and stuff.
Okay, crankcase is loose. Let's see if we'll just crack open.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, and we might need to pry it.
That seal caught up on all that rust.
Crankcase is apart, so we just wedged it in between these the 2 tables right here, thread the bolt into the top, and just tapped on it, and it just came right out.
Yeah. So now
it's got some dirt in there.
Yeah, that's not.
It's like sand.
It could. I mean, like.
Everything's clean.
That's the thing. I think this is really weird. I think like.
It was open when we got it.
It was open, but there's no rust. That's the weird part. You know, I expect all of this to be. Like,
it had oil coating in, so that probably is what saved us.
We got all the bearings and seals out of this, and then we got stuff like the exhaust flange, stuff like that, and then stuff like the torque converter. And that's not gonna focus, but torque converter, engine little bits over there. So what we'll do is we'll go kind of rounds of pressure washing / brake cleaner, and just try to get everything squeaky clean.
Okay, so we just pressed the bearings off the crankshaft, so we're just going to clean it real quick before we polish this end right here.
Alright, so the only bearing on this entire engine we're not replacing are these bottom rod bearings. So we're really just making sure we clean them out. They look perfect.
It sounds a little sandy, so that's what we're trying to get rid of.
Alright, so we got one of the seals pressed in. I also cleaned up these gasket surfaces like super well. So it's pretty mint. I mean, everything that could be cleaned off. We also lubed this up, so that should be mint too. We got our bearings chilling in the freezer. And then we're heating this up so it'll expand, and the bearings should contract in the freezer, and it should just plop right in. Right, this is a thing of beauty right here. Okay, so that's in. So we got the bearings in, brand new. Then we got our seal right here, also new. See? So she's gonna be a good runner, guys. So I'm also gonna check to make sure this bearing's perfectly seated. I'm gonna have to find a socket or something that's the same size as this so it won't hit this other outside part, but cool. So I got both crank bearings in, and as you can see, I have the crankshaft slid into this side of the block. And I was getting ready to put this through here, but do you see all of this rust here? The bearing's supposed to sit right here, and the tapered end for the torque converter is right here. But all this rust right here, like nothing's on it, but it just makes it really hard to get this bearing on. And I'm not trying to jam anything onto this crankshaft or putting it in the press or anything like that, because it's supported here, not through this axis, you know what I mean? So what I'm gonna do is I mask off the parts that are machined, and I'm just gonna rotate this and sand down this rust a little bit. That way we just don't have to worry about jamming anything over. Alright, so I hope you can tell a big difference there. Basically what I did is I just used a strip of sandpaper and held each end and just went back and forth. It's a good tip to kind of do when you're sanding something that's circular, so it kind of at least tries to remain at the contour. I mean, I didn't sand that much down at all. So, cool. I think I'm going to acetone this or something and brake clean in case any little particles got onto any of this stuff. I just want to flush it all out. And hopefully this crankcase will be going right on. Alright, so now, time for the main event. Hopefully this just goes on without that many issues. Yeah, let me check the gasket. Now, we're going to use our bolts here. Actually, I'm going to dip in some oil so we can get those wet torque specs. I actually learned that from Redbeard. Shout out Redbeard. From putting all his Predators together and stuff. That way you have the most accurate torque reading and you're not freaking binding against anything else.
Oiling up all the pieces, and then we've got our piston facing front ways.
Yeah, it's Wiseco time.
So yeah, we're just putting all this together. It's the first time I've ever done this.
Yeah, I think this is our first kind of engine build going here, so hopefully she runs, but we've been doing everything right so far, so there's no reason why I shouldn't.
Goes the piston rings.
Cool. Sweet, so now what we're gonna do is we got our new dowel pins in. Now we're just gonna drop it on, make sure our ring gap is pretty good. Sweet. Okay, so we coated the rings in oil. Got it to slide on. Oh, that sounds so Make sure the dowels line up. Dang. We got this all on there. It's not really torqued down yet, but we can lightly turn her over. It's so sick. We got our newly machined cylinder wall there looking mint. So I actually had to wait on this little part here. It's just like another like head stud. So we just thread that guy in there. Get that. We'll double nut it and kind of get it snug. Then we're gonna put our head on. Then we're just torquing her down, guys, and this thing's gonna be pretty much rebuilt. Cool. So now there's these special bolts that are like threaded here. Here, probably just so they don't like stretch or anything. So we're just gonna thread it in. get them torqued to spec. We're doing a 10 to 18 foot-pound progression.
Wait.
We're going 10 and then 18. So now we're just finally torquing these guys. Sweet. I mean, this is badass.
Oh, can you feel compression now?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, she got a lot of compression. Oh, yes.
Just rebuilt the pull cord right here, and boom, there's a little teeth stick out.
Sick.
And then we put a new handle and a new rope around here, so everything should be pretty solid.
Yeah, now we have to do all the Stator stuff like that. I put the intake on with just like old hardware and like just mask stuff off. Same with like the exhaust, like manifold, whatever you want to call it. Because we are going to paint this engine, that's why I'm leaving the old plugs in it and stuff. So we'll just assemble all that electronic stuff, put the pull cord in, and then we'll spray it with some spray paint. It'll be sick.
So we got the stator and the pull cord and everything else all bolted up. And I mean, I pulled it over once, and the compression is so hard that I actually thought it stopped. So it's pretty crazy. I don't know.
And everything's oiled, so don't worry about that, guys. But
so yeah,
I shot the exhaust port out, whatever it's called. Jeez.
Dude, this is gonna be hard to start.
She's gonna rage. Well, normally on Odyssey, so you only have to crank it like half a turn.
Yeah, so
That's sick.
that'll be helpful, but yeah, that's crazy.
Sweet, let's get her painted, guys. Unfortunately, we won't be able to like start it in this video, but that'll come in the future when it's the final assembly of the Odyssey. I just thought it'd be really cool to do a progression of the entire build of this. But I mean, right now the Odyssey's in parts like this. But we'll get this thing painted, and dang, guys, it looks so sick. Alright guys, this looks so good. It even has like some flake to it. We masked off around the seals and stuff really well. So cool. Jason's just working on getting the carburetor done.
Yeah.
And I think what we'll do is we'll just get that done, get the car bolted on here, and then that's just gonna be it for this episode.
Okay, so after a lot of work, this car is finally rebuilt. There's still a lot of corrosion and just kind of residue left on it, but that's all that I could get off with carb cleaner and scrubbing. But all the little pins, the air inlets, the fuel controller floats, all that stuff is brand new. So this thing should work pretty well.
All assembled. Got that newly rebuilt carburetor, new gasket in there, 2 new spark plugs. Turns out 2 spark plugs are for when one of them, like, you know, goes bad, you can just switch the coil to the other one. Just really easy, because 2 strokes can foul plug sometimes. Yeah, I think I'll just get a little montage and we'll be done with this thing. Alright guys, thanks for watching. It's crazy getting this thing fully built. I mean, it's a 250cc 2-stroke. You guys have seen what happens with the KT100 karts. Those, and double the displacement, this thing's gonna rip. She's gonna start so well, and it's gonna rage actually. It's gonna be so fun, so stay tuned for the rest of the build. Thank you, Go Power Sports. Thank you guys for subscribing, and have a good day.